The challenge is laid. The Black Ferns in the United States, Pacific 4 from Hamilton up next. When we talk about the big moments for players pre-match for Caitlin Vahaakolo to lead that haka for the first time and ferociously so. But now Michaela Blythe, this is where you, I guess, take a breath and get ready to go again.
Oh, you can't help but feel the goosebumps and the mana and that power of the wahine toa that have set the platform for us this afternoon, Ricky. I've got goosebumps and I wasn't even on the field. I'm so excited for what will be a really exciting match.
If you're the United States, you're coming in, your rankings are down at about 10 at the moment in the world. How do they play this coming up against a number 2 in the world?
You'd like to see that. The USA are just going to pounce upon the fact that the Black Ferns have got their first match underway. So there's going to be some jitters, there's going to be some nerves. So they're going to have to counteract upon the mistakes that may potentially happen in these next few minutes.
Yeah, this is the second test of the year for the USA. They beat South Africa in London at the end of March, and then was that defeat in the opening match of the Pacific 4 against Canada just a couple of weeks ago. There's one of the debutants, Maama Mo'onia Vaipulu for New Zealand. She and Maia Joseph to start. Hannah King to come off the bench for New Zealand for a potential debut. Crowd still coming in. They've left their run in late into the stadium here in Waikato. But the ones who are in who are making plenty of noise already. Julianne Zussman from Canada is our referee in charge of this test. Tyler Miller and Ella Goldsmith are her assistants. Rachel Horton is the TMO. The stage is set. All is in readiness. Pacific for the United States in the white. New Zealand in their traditional black. As we get underway in the Pacific 4. First touch straight away for the powerhouse number 8, Layla Sayed. Just her 4th cap, made her debut last year, and you would say ripping that away, but losing the ball in the process, so we'll have the first scrum of the match early on.
That was actually unfortunate, that the fact that the Black Ferns have gone into contact, but the USA had actually legally stripped the ball, and it was unfortunate that it went into a knock-on, so it'll be interesting to see how the USA defend this play off a scrum here.
Crouch! Kate Henwood, Georgia Ponsonby, Tanya Kulonavali for New Zealand, Rogers, Treader and Jacoby. That's a really experienced front row for the United States as Maia Joseph feeds her first scrum and it goes down straight away. So hold your weight. Okay. Stay up.
I'll repeat.
We're up all day. Good. So we go, Tal. That was lovely, Tal.
Yeah.
Seconds in. Good. Let's go. Target it, connect with Gabby. Here we go.
Crouch! Bind!
That's it, Tal.
Set! So now Joseph gets a chance to feed this first scrum, and the Black Ferns will get a chance to attack in their opening test of the year. Here's Demant and a first touch for Sylvia Brunt. They get it wide, and they get it wide quickly to Caitlin Vahaakolo, puts it on the chest for Kennedy Simon, the New Zealand captain. She's got the co-skip with her. Demant away, charging along, and Amy Duplessis will score for New Zealand in the opening 2 minutes.
And that is the start that we are expecting of the Black Ferns for 2024. The back line just absolutely knew where they needed to be, and the support play of Ruahei Demant and Amy Duplessis was absolutely primo. But you've got to take it back to Caitlin Vahakolo's strike on the outside. We know she has speed when she's got space in front of her. You know that she's going to attack it as much as she can. And if you got her with ball in hand, something's going to happen.
Now New Zealand busting out straight away through the hands. And you appreciate the winger's play of Caitlin Vahaakolo. What a first touch.
She didn't even look like that she hit 4th gear, and it's just the beginning of the game. So we've got a lot to see with that talented woman.
Conversion good from in front from Demant. So New Zealand straight away into it. 7-0. New Zealand strike through Amy Duplessis. United States find themselves on the back foot. Completely different to when these teams last met last year in Ottawa. Remember, New Zealand had Iritano Hohaia sent off in the opening couple of minutes, and USA jumped out to an early lead in that one before being run down. New Zealand, though, speaking of running, looked full of it early on. Here's Paul playing in at fullback. Tui puts it to the boot for the speedsters to chase, but well read in the back and neatly taken in too. Difficult looking into that sun, taken down by Joseph, and now Demant again looks to find open spaces, sweeping across again. USA once more in good field position to return the kick with interest. Vahaakolo coming out of the shadows into the sun. That's a good tackle made on her by the halfback. Ortiz clung on around the ankles. Joseph has a little dab down a blindside with Duplessis, slips off one defender, gets past a second, can't quite find Simon this time, and it's scooped up by Jacoby for the United States.
Use 9.
Ortiz told to use it, and will need to do so pretty quickly. There we go for Hope Rogers. No way through there, good luck. Roos and Mikaeli Tu'u come together. And now it's messy from Cantona. Bouncing ball, defence has put pressure on, and New Zealand look to strike on the counter. Brunt pumps a big ball wide for Vahaakolo again, doesn't need a lot of room. Can't get past Paris Redding, but she's hard to put down. Caitlin Vahaakolo. Demant for Kulornavali. Up towards the 22 go New Zealand, looking for a second within 5 minutes. Space here for Ponsonby. She's got Paul into the line, and now Ruby Tui on the outside edge. Ball back in field for Mererangi Paul. Support play from New Zealand as US slip off tackles. Mererangi Paul scores.
There was just the precision of a team try there, just constant play, and the fact that the Black Ferns were able to stay on their feet from going attack to defence and keep the endurance to continue with the accuracy of catch and pass. Ruby Tui on the edge with Mererangi Paul scoring in the corner. She's got a very famous last name, I'd have to say. Shout out to Mahina Paul, my 7th sister back at home, but a brilliant team try for the Black Ferns again.
Good cover defence coming across, but just too many numbers from New Zealand. Mererangi Paul with an easy finish. USA, the early alarm bells here in Hamilton. Hey, Demant. There's no Renee Holmes in the New Zealand side, out injured this week. The regular goal kicker, so Demant, an able deputy, for sure. She's kept this one well left, so try goes unconverted, but New Zealand 2 in quick succession. It's New Zealand 12, USA 0. USA kick off again. Roos is underneath this one, rather it'll be Brunt who brings it down. Sylvia Brunt returning from suspension, missed the end of Super Rugby Opiki here in New Zealand after a shot on Ruby Tui, funnily enough. Here's Kulornavali, nice ball out the back for Demant, and once more it's Paul and Tui gets an early ball this time, no way through. Good defence from Eti Hangatau for the United States. Joseph. Ponsonby. Demant again, and now here's Brunt trying to manipulate that room once more for Vahaakolo to take on the edge again, and away she goes, just accelerating this weaving, arcing running style of Caitlin Vahaakolo, just accelerating away, catching shadows. The United States, Caitlin Vahaakolo, solo brilliance.
You can see that the Black Ferns are wanting to hold on to the momentum of the game, but when you get ball in hand of Caitlin Vahaakolo, she just looks like she's just playing with the defence, Ricky. She's just swerving and sweaving everywhere that she can go. And it's just amazing to see that this winger has still not stride out to where we know where she can get to, but a brilliant pass from Brunt. That's at least a 10-15 metre pass from her with a little bit of pressure. She's beaten at least 6 or 7 defenders there, Vahaakolo. She's done incredibly well to stay on her feet and get herself into space to dot down for another 5.
World Rugby's breakthrough player of the year, Caitlin Vahaakolo. That's her 6th test try in her 7th test. She said she was surprised when she got that award last year, didn't think she'd had that good of a season in her debut year at Test Rugby. Already striding off in the opening match of the year. Demant this time from the opposite side of the field makes the adjustment and has no problem. Neatly converted, and it's New Zealand who go 19 points to 0 up inside 9 minutes. USA restarting once again. It's brought down by the co-captain, Simon. Good charge from Kennedy Simon. This is their home ground. And she carries up towards halfway. Joseph whips it off for Leila Sa'i. Demant now. And Kulunavali pops a little ball for Duplessis on the shoulder. A little flat, but play on for Duplessis up over halfway. A lot of defence early here for the US, and here's a ball into space for Paul again. Chip kick over the top for herself. The balance is perfect. Mererangi Paul had Tui outside, didn't need it. I'll go the chip kick, regather, and Mererangi Paul gets a 2nd try.
Oh, I'm absolutely shocked. Mererangi Paul had probably 5 options that she could have chosen in that situation. She had an option on the inside, she had Ruby Tui on the outside, and she decided, you know what, I'm going to kick it myself anyway because I want to score again. But the fact that she was able to, the ball handling skills there under pressure, that is absolutely individual brilliance that you just have to train at home in your own time. Mererangi Paul, hand yourself an applause because that is talent right there.
Oh, she was a nominee for World Rugby Breakthrough Player of the Year last year. Lost out to Caitlin Vahaakolo.
I'm not surprised.
First time starting at fullback. And making quite the fist of it so far. Demant missed from a similar position earlier. And it's going to just stay left again, this time off the upright. 24 points to 0.
That was a low-key commentator's curse there, Ricky.
Get used to them, they happen a lot. If you're the United States, though, you've been hit hard and hit hard early. 24 points to 0 inside 11 in 12 minutes. We'll regroup quickly. Shallow restart from Hangatau. New Zealand have completely misjudged this one, though. And it's there for the United States. So a chance for them to get their game going here as Ortiz will scramble it away, digging it out for Tafuna. She's an exciting player, as is this woman, Lottie Clapp, former England international. Switched her allegiance to her mum's country of birth, the US, in 2022. Nicely tipped on from Rogers to the captain, Johnson. This looks more promising for the US. First time really with ball in hand, Tafuna. Ortiz does well under pressure. Kintona across the line for Saufu'u. Gerald, a locking mate, has to go back to tidy up. Kintona tries a little chip kick over the top here. No one really chasing. Hangatau coming eventually, and Demant has plenty of time to just about get the handle on it. And Paul will send it back downfield. Kintona. Runs into her own teammate, but no real obstruction there. It's a bit laboured from the US at the moment, trying to use the power of Hangatau. Lost a lot of ground, though. Here's the United States. Ortiz again for Kintona to the line. Flat ball into the hands of Taufu'u. Henrik, no, getting through this New Zealand defence again. Roos and Ponsonby in tandem this time as the Black Ferns fan out across Waikato Stadium. Vaipulu on debut, just rolls out of the way, loves the dirty stuff apparently, according to Anna Richards, who's been coaching her for Auckland. The Black Ferns great. Just again, no ground for the US though. Cantona across through the hands for Johnson. Better clean out this time and slightly quicker ball. Cantona once more. And now a little chance to accelerate. No way through for Taufu'u. Matai Tonga for the first time. Ortiz. She's wrapped up. Now Cantona takes it to the line. Taken in a good tackle by Henwood. Needed to be made as well. Keeping ball in hand. Building phases here, the US. As they edge back up towards halfway, it's gut-busting stuff. New Zealand not missing in defence. Johnson again. And now, again, they opt for the little kick. There's plenty of space out wide here for the United States, but the ball will beat everyone into touch as they ran out of options in the end.
12 phases later, and the Black Ferns' relentless black wall of defence was just nowhere to be beaten. It was a good phase of play by USA, keeping holding on to the ball, but unfortunately they just kept going backwards. They needed to keep moving forward, being able to move the ball a little bit more into space. In the end, the only option they could do was kick into space and behind.
First line-out's knocked down by Vaipulu for New Zealand. And that allows Layla Sayek to power up. She is a real star in the making, the number 8 for New Zealand. Here's Vahaakolo again. Up to halfway. We're over it, rather. Joseph, flat foot, standing start for Roos. Demant. Brunt, oh, flicks a little ball out the back of the hand. Here's Paul again. Oh, the hands were just as good, even better that one for Duplessis, and Amy Duplessis stretching away. Joseph outside her. She's got support too in the form of Sa'i. Good tackle made on Layla Sa'i by Emily Henrik, but New Zealand pour forward again. Mai Kawanako-Lani Roos, Ponsonby tipped on for Mikaeli Tu'u. Vahaakolo in close quarters, 7 metres short of the US line. New Zealand recycle, and now the forwards go to work. Oh, Henwood tries to flick one for Say. Unlucky for Jacoby, got over that, did the US front rower, but now Demant to the line, almost through, good tackle. Now Duplessis, that one slipped up high. New Zealand playing under advantage. Joseph with a free hit for the corner, and it's Mererangi Paul with a hat-trick inside 16 minutes.
I don't know if that's a world record of hat tricks in the fastest time possible of an international match. Mererangi Paul was in the right places at the right time, but if we can take it back to the offload of Brunt, just the flick out the back, the trust of knowing that your teammates are right there waiting for the ball. Oh, that is absolutely brilliance right there. That is something that a coach cannot teach. But the ball in hand, the speed of movement, making sure that the ball stays alive, it's going through everybody's hands, and it ends up an amazing team try that Mererangi Paul gets a trio in 20 minutes.
Alan, I think of the composure of Maia Joseph on debut at halfback, had the free hit playing under advantage and put that kick on the spot, saw this woman wide, and Mererangi Paul, first test at fullback, has been right in the thick of it, hat-trick. One slightly wider for Demant this time. She had a couple stay left, one hitting the upright.
Thanks, Ella.
And this one's going to stay right for Ruahei Demant, but at the moment New Zealand going up in fives without too much bother. It's 29 points to 0.
You speak about Maia Joseph before, Ricky. You would never think that it was her debut game today. The way that she's playing right now is extremely mature. The ability to have the vision to look up and have the confidence to kick into space for Mererangi Paul to catch firsthand. I mean, she's got a very bright future.
Dual international now, played touch for New Zealand, and of course a second generation New Zealand rugby player. Sylvia Brunt carrying hard early as per usual. Here is Joseph. Save. Wide, oh, that's floated onto the chest of Tui, who again tries that little chip kick over the top and doesn't execute it quite as well as her fullback mate did.
She'll be gutted about that. I see her do that every single time she plays the chip and chase for herself. It's good execution, though, by the Black Ferns leading up to that. Their catch and pass is immaculate today, Ricky, I have to admit.
Well, they've had a couple of weeks in camp together. Got the feeling, speaking to the coaches earlier, they were itching to get going. USA, this is their third test of the year already. Lineout ball down the back. It's nicely won by Tafuna, even though there's a scramble for Ortiz. Cantona started in its second 5 against Canada 2 weeks ago. No Mackenzie Hawkins for the US tonight or this afternoon either. And of course, no Kate Zachary, their regular skipper. She's sitting on the sideline still. And we'll be frustrated to see that ball spill forward from Rogers.
It is unfortunate. It was probably their best opportunity for USA to gain some momentum on attack against the Black Ferns. It's unfortunate for Hope Rogers here. She's a 7 superstar, this one, actually. But the skill of Mikaeli too, just to rip the ball out of her hand for them to be able to get the ball back.
Hope Rogers, the 7's playing prop. She had a bit of a cult following in 3 tournaments she played and getting some treatment now. It's her 46th cap for the US, a real anchor for them. Probably a chance here for them just to have a little bit of a breather, get in together and regroup.
You can see that they have the consistency of holding onto the ball. They've got structure and they've got chat, but it's just a matter of executing what they're trying to do on attack. But it's hard when you've got a Black Ferns defense that is just relentless and so powerful and hard to break through. The USA are going to have to come up with something soon, otherwise this is going to be a long day for them.
Very much rebuilding. First time in years they've had a settled coaching team. Sione Fukafuka taking over a few months ago. He's got Mel Bosman, former Black Fern, as his assistant. But they've had 4 coaches since the World Cup in 2022. That's a long-term plan for Sione Fukafuka in the US team, in the US program.
Bind!
The cheddar, just the pet for the front row of the US. Go get him. It was, yeah, free kick. Yeah, I was going to say, slightly early from New Zealand and perhaps not driving straight either. And they've called a scrum again.
Hope Rogers will be stoked about that. That was her that was able to manipulate the change of the front row with the Black Ferns after making the mistake of dropping the ball. She's made already 5 tackles of today's game, so she's done a load of work on defence.
Do it again. Pull in the break, Kimmy. Save again, Charlie. Save again. Pull the break, Kimmy.
Crouch! Bind! Set! I'll stand up.
Really unstable.
Both sides. Both sides are unstable. Reset it. So keep your feet underneath you. Yeah.
Kate
You guys two
Henwood.
stay up. Yeah. Thank you.
35 years of age, even though she's still a relatively new Black Fern, knows her way around a scrum.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Much better base this time for Rachel Johnson to go off the back. Here comes Ortiz. Now the USA get a chance to work from set piece, but it's easily picked off by Duplessis. Good tackle made on Tess Fury, and the penalty as New Zealand blow through. Pressure came on and Emily Henrik was caught offside.
Yeah, Emily Henrik almost knew that the play was happening before it actually happened. She caught offside in front of her own player. And Amy Duplessis just the knowledge of knowing that she can push forward and cause the player, or Henrik, to be offside.
I think that's an ultimate side entry from Emily Henrik. Didn't have a lot of room to go, but here's a chance really for New Zealand to see if they can launch from set piece. It's been all the backs so far. Maybe the forwards might keep this one in. And that's off the top for Say from Roos. Layla Say powering towards the line. 4 metres short, New Zealand, Joseph. There for Kate Henwood. And now they keep coming once more, and they will clatter over. Is it Roos? No, someone got in the way. Duplessis and Roos just got in a tangle. And that's a good moment for the US. You can hear it amongst them.
Absolutely, you can hear it. They'll be stoked about the fact that that was an easy 5 points for the Black Ferns when you think about it. It was a simple mistake that the Black Ferns just caught sleeping a little bit. Hopefully then the USA can utilise this opportunity to get the ball back upfield.
Not one of the great touch finders, so the pressure's not off, even though they can enjoy that moment. Here, Tafuna, some of the US players just trying to G each other up, but they've still only got this line out. 5 minutes in the line. It's nicely taken down by Hallie Tafuna, US Eagle number 300.
It's up to 15. Balls at the front.
And they have to try and clear this out. Will Ortiz.
Say again, Ty.
Playing in front of their own goalpost. Oh, Hangatau tried to use her power but lost control of the ball. Did Eti Hangatau, and look how quickly New Zealand will swing on to attack. Duplessis trying to step her way around, look to force the ball in contact, but they'll go back for the original knock on. And New Zealand will have a scrum 6 metres short of the US line.
The idea was right to get Eti Hangatau ball in hand. She's a powerful woman when it comes to ball in hand, and she will get you some metres when need be. It is unfortunate that she just knocked the ball on here, but Demant, run into those shoulders and you might get sent back to next week.
Yeah, she's got shots. She can tackle, can't she, Rua? Hey, Demant.
Last scrum was good. Let's match that. Okay.
Good scrum from New Zealand. A tap for Say, goes away for Joseph. Out they come with Demant. There for Mererangi Paul again. Nah, she's not going for 4. Almost stretched to the line did Mererangi Paul. New Zealand recycle again. Mikaeli Tsul. USA's defence having to hold firm on the line. Vaipulu, the debutant, getting close, stretching, scoring in her first test. Maama Mo'onia Vaipulu over the line, scoring on debut for New Zealand.
I'm sure she scored plenty of points in the volleyball singlet. She's now scored 5 points for the Black Ferns in the black jersey. Congratulations, Vaipulu, you are on the board, but it was a beautiful team try. And you can take it back as well to the scrum. The setup with Mererangi Paul directly behind the scrum. It just made the USA have no idea where they were going to go. And it was just a matter of patience, precision, and power from Vaipulu.
21 years of age, Black Fern number 259. Maama Vaipulu. He's a volleyball international for New Zealand, made the switch to rugby only about 4 years ago and has had a rapid rise to the black jersey. Demant this time makes the adjustment and gets one on that side, converting the try. Oh, Vaipulu, and New Zealand bounce out to a 36 points to 0 lead. USA get us back underway once more, and once again it's action replay as it's brought down by Brunt for New Zealand. She's done a power of work, Sylvia Brunt, as has this one here, Layla Say. Good wrestle though with Rogers, trying to rip it away. Eventually Say gets to ground. Here's Vaipulu, the try scorer. As I mentioned, Anna Richards, the great Hall of Famer. It's had a bit to do with Vaipulu, loves the dirty work, she says, doesn't mind getting her head buried in dark places. Kalonevali next up for New Zealand as they look to build inside their own half again. Mikaele Tu'u strong to the line once more, edging towards the half-hour mark in this match here in Hamilton. Here's Duplessis once more for Vahaakolo. She puts it on the boot this time. It's awkward for Ortiz, who does really well, and able to release Cantona. A chance perhaps for Lottie Clapp in the USA to get the mismatch that she was looking for. Now Hangatau down the side with her power, and she's got good footwork too. Strong player with ball in hand, Eti Hangatau. Better for the US, Cantona. Out the back they go, Tonga. And then Duplessis is going to get that one, just force that ball to Gerald. And handing possession back to New Zealand. As Hangatau stayed down in back play, she went into contact, so USA, excuse me, one short in their defensive line, and there is some concern over Eti Hangatau over on the far side, back on the 10-metre line. We'll play on for now. The USA again having to bust a gut from deep inside their own half. Pick and go from Georgie Paris-Redding.
Use it!
And now they will look to clear. It is taken back, so Demant underneath this one. It's going to float out on the full, so New Zealand will be able to go back and have a line out 20 metres out.
Yeah, that is hard sights to see for Hangatau. She's one of their power players in the back line.
Time's off.
She looks like she's in a world of pain, which is extremely unfortunate.
Time's off.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a bit of time. It's when she carried the ball up here, she makes this good charge and then just fell awkwardly to Hangatau. She stumbled to ground. And the ball. Youngest ever player to play for the United States. At 18, she made her debut, but looks in some discomfort. We've seen a few of these, unfortunately, of late.
If we look at how obviously the scoreboard is in the Black Ferns' favour, Caitlin Vahaakolo has already ran 133 metres with ball in hand, and it's only been 29 minutes of the game. So you know by getting your ball in hand to your wingers in a game like today, you're going to have something happening. And with Caitlin Vahaakolo's speed, we've seen her play for the Blues, and being an Opiki final winner, she's someone that will always create something out of nothing. And so with her already running 133 metres, she's done a load of work. And there's still a whole half and a bit to go.
She makes good metres in contact too, doesn't she, Caitlin Vahaakolo? They're not always, I won't say easy wingers metres next to you, but I've just said it, so there we go.
Hey, we work hard, thank you, Ricky.
But she does some hard work too, as unfortunately Eti Hangatau is going to head to the side, and Atumata Hingano is going to come on for her fourth cap for the United States. Another who's part of their wider 7 squad. Fortunately, it doesn't look hopefully as bad as we first thought for Hangatau. And now New Zealand have made a mistake here at the line out, not straight.
Option. Scrum. Wait ball.
Georgia Ponsonby off target.
The quick change here with Mata Hingango on for Eti Hangatau. Her being fresh, it'll be good to actually get her with ball in hand, and hopefully we can get some go forward from her.
Bind! Set!
New Zealand and try and put a bit of a shove on here, but it's well looked after at the back as Henrik comes off her wing to carry up over the 22, and USA going to build from deep once more as the skipper Rachel Johnson lines up, and they'll get a penalty. There hasn't been many of them in the match. And a chance for USA just to relieve some of this pressure and get some territory.
Absolutely, and you can see that the energy is there for them every time that the ball goes their way. So they're not down. They are definitely still up here. If they get a good kick here and a good line out, hopefully they can get the ball up the field and get some points on the scoreboard. But we need to get some momentum and ball in hand in the back line so we can get their speedsters into space and their power players going forward.
Better touch finder this time from Cantona. And lineouts function well so far. Catherine Treader. It's in the middle for Gerald, nicely taken down by Erica Gerald. And away comes Paris Redding. Here's Ortiz. Now Cantona to the line. There's a bit of a jagged line for her to take on up towards halfway for the US. Paris Redding. There's Charlie Jacoby. And then the pick again from Paris Redding. She had Ortiz on the shoulder. This is better for the United States. Asking some questions of the New Zealand defence. There's the new player, Hingano, Atu Hingano, and she's got good pace as well. Did she lose that on the floor as they went to ground? Yeah, just lost control as she hit the floor. Atumata Hingano, but some much more promising signs on attack for the US.
It's a lot of positive energy there, seeing Hingano with ball in hand. Instantly, she made some good meters. It was just an unfortunate knock-on. Georgia Ponsonby missed the tackle there, and she obviously saw the space. And Maia Joseph, it was almost an ankle tap, but she just was able to interrupt the momentum. And a knock-on there from the USA gives the Black Ferns, although they are on their 22-metre, it's still a long way to go. So it'll be cool to see what they can do with this ball and play off the scrum.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Solid scrum for New Zealand, and Joseph declared Demant. This time opts to kick in behind, and there's a lot of open spaces down the middle. Vahaakolo will chase for New Zealand. Henrik back there for the United States, supported by Fury, and she'll look to return favour. Demant's got this covered. Ball stays in field. Now New Zealand, will they look to open up through Paul, who's already got a first half hat-trick? Oh, tough stuff trying to go through there, and good shots made by Johnson and Tafuna. Still there for Duplessis, though. Offload for Tui, tries to leapfrog a couple. New Zealand stopped on halfway. Good shot made by Paris Redding. And now Kalorne Vale. Joseph, who's distributed nicely in her first test, shoveled along from Demant, and now space for Tui. Looking on the outside again, puts boot to ball for Duplessis to chase. Might have put too much on this one. It's going to roll and go out dead.
Scrum back. Go 22. Scrum.
It gives the USA a scrum right back on the 10-metre line.
Scrum.
Well, not quite. Good maths, Ricky. 25 out.
Ball.
Black Ferns are trying all sorts of different tactics here, but clearly on the right side on the field, they are really trying to encourage the chip and chase. Ruby Tui, Amy Duplessis, Mererangi Paul, they've all had ball to boot. We're going to get there eventually, Ricky.
Interesting to see the change of tactic, though, from Demant to kick from inside, from deep this time to try and get territory. I think New Zealand last year was sometimes perhaps a bit too guilty of running it out from in front of their own posts at times. And just looking to add that variety to the game with some different options.
Bind! Set!
USA have held out New Zealand well, though, in the last 15, 20 minutes or so. They're not holding that scrum too well, but able to get off the back was Johnson, who did very well off the back. Paris Redding stopped by Demant. USA had loved to go into half-time with something to show for this effort and endeavour in the first spell. Jacoby. And now Cantona, she's got a little chip kick over the top. Vahaakolo underneath it, fury there for the US. It's knocked on New Zealand's side and scooped up neatly by Joseph. Here's Paul again, who's been in the thick of the action, just ran out of room that time though, as the US scrambled back well.
Thank you. Okay, black ball.
It was the right intention of Mererangi Paul to take the ball forward, but I'd say the better option would have been to have spread it out back wide where there was more players for them to use on attack. USA actually did really well. It's a brilliant tackle by Henrik to get Paul out of bounds. But the Black Ferns are going to get the ball back for another attacking option.
And stop there. Thank you.
Ponsonby this time finds their target in the form of Roos. Demant. And now Brunt out the back for Vahaakolo. Ball's gone to ground and gone forward. Well, first mistake Caitlin Vahaakolo's made in the match, and a rare one by the New Zealand backline. But a lead off for the United States and one to take a chance from.
Time's off.
Yeah, it is a very rare mistake of Caitlin Vahaakolo. I think a little bit guilty of looking up before actually catching the ball first. Very common mistake of most wingers, I must say, to do every now and then. But it's still an ideal position for the USA to get a good attacking opportunity while the Black Ferns are starting to fatigue a little bit. We're now 36 minutes deep into the first half. There is going to start to be some little cobwebs that are showing a little bit. Whoever's going to be most fatigued, who's going to be most tired. So the USA need to pick up who those people are and attack them strongly so they can get some points on the scoreboard.
So we'll play it down and back play. It's Tanya Kulornevale. Pops back up again.
Let's go.
This is her home ground and getting the chance to start for New Zealand. Just her 4th start. It was her 11th test.
Time back on. Crouch! Bind! Set!
Oh, it's a good scrum from New Zealand. Really pushing the US, but once more Johnson has done excellently as she's backpedaled the number 8 for the United States, the captain. And then the mistake comes just under pressure from Ortiz, who's been very good for the US so far today.
She's got her 2nd start at halfback for the USA for this match, the 26-year-old. She's done really well to continue the momentum, but it was just unfortunate clip back behind her USA companion. Olivia Ortiz comes from the Exeter Chiefs Club in USA.
A lot of these US players playing in the Premiership, the PWR in the UK, and that's important for them too. Professional setup. Probably the bulk of this side playing in that competition, which goes from strength to strength. I think it's back in action this weekend as well as New Zealand make a mistake again, just had to force it a little. Oh, down that blind side. Joseph not happy with herself.
I'm sure her dad will bring that up later today. It was just a little bit of miscommunication. Trying to do the no-look pass. We try to be tricky every now and then, Ricky, and sometimes it just doesn't pull off every now and then, but the smile of Ruby Tui knows it's an honest mistake. You move on and go on to the next role.
You like to see it from a young player, not happy with herself and ready to go again. Here comes the USA, and Ngano once more up over halfway. Gerald carrying hard, the Harvard graduate, molecular biology. Don't even know what that is, as Lottie Clapp is taken down in a good tackle by Henwood. Cantona distributing. Oh, Tafuna was a little fumble, no straight down, says referee Sussman.
Thank you.
USA again go blind, said, oh, Clapp has done really well because she had that rifled at her by Ortiz. USA again from a standing start as it's shoveled on for Rogers and then couldn't quite control it. She's dangerous in a gap, Hope Rogers. But the USA probably guilty just putting each other under pressure with some of that delivery.
Yeah, Hope Rogers, and that ball went into hand. That could have been dangerous for the Black Ferns. It's almost like they just need to be a little bit more calm, a little bit more patient, and not have to really force the pass. Just a little pop ball into space, and that would have been absolutely perfect for Hope Rogers to run onto. The 31-year-old also from the Exeter Chiefs. There's a few of them in the squad here for today.
Yeah, there is. Handful.
Hope Rogers in this team is actually the most experienced one, playing her 46th match today for USA, so the experience is going to be vital today.
Sirens gone for half-time. New Zealand leading 36 points to 0. We see if they fancy one more attacking chance. You bet you they do. Demant. Tui's come off her wing to create space once more for Vahaakolo down the left. And there she is. There's those hard meters she can make, pumping the legs. Caitlin Vahaakolo. Joseph. No way through for Say. Good defence from the United States. Standing start for Vaipulu on debut, the two debutants together. Joseph and Vaipulu. Demant. Ponsonby had made the run on the angle, just had to check it slightly. New Zealand deep into extra time in this first half, happy to keep playing. Joseph will dig it out eventually. A good shot coming on from Ortiz, and it's play on for Paris Reading. Oh, she had Tafuna on the shoulder, couldn't quite get it away, but it's a great carry from Georgie Paris Reading. Another plying her trade in the PWR for Sale Sharks. Rogers dishing off for Lottie Clapp. Still play on for the United States. Inside Songa. Good carry from the centre. Now Cantona through the hands for Ngano again. Orsay had to hold on, and once again it's Duplessis who gets herself in between ball and player, bangs it out into touch, and we go to half-time in Hamilton, where it is New Zealand in complete command of this Pacific 4 matchup. 6 tries in the first half, and it's New Zealand who lead the United States 36 points to 0. Hamilton well around New Zealand Aotearoa today, but crowd have come in sitting in that sunny side. That's what they're playing for. Of course, World Cup qualification floating around for New Zealand and Australia and the USA in this series. New Zealand and Canada are already qualified for next year, and the place in WXV1 up for grabs as well. As the teams head out after half-time, New Zealand has made 3 changes. The entire front row on in 16, Luca Connor replaces Georgia Ponsonby. On in 17, Chris Valiko for Kate Henwood. And on in 18, Amy Rule replacing Tanya Kulornevale. Just here, Rachel Johnson asking the question about New Zealand, where they're coming from at the breakdown. Michaela Blyde alongside for this one. What would you like to see from the USA in the second spell?
Oh, well, ball in hand, we can see some positive stuff going on when they've got time and when they've got space. So hopefully we can get them into some space. And then if they get on the other side of the field, if they just continue putting pressure on the Black Ferns, because the defense of the Black Ferns is just keeping on coming forward. So if we can get them on the back foot, then USA might be able to question the Black Ferns defense going into the second half.
Okay, thank you. 30 seconds. 30 seconds, Rachel. 30 seconds.
Nicolani Roos watching on the youngest ever Black Ferns captain when she led New Zealand against the United States in Ottawa last year. There's Chris Valiko, just her 3rd cap for New Zealand. Second half of this Pacific 4 series match between New Zealand and the United States. Ruahei Demant gets New Zealand back underway, leading 36 points to 0. Erica Jarrell brings it down for the US. In from inside, and there's a nice little ball in a hole, and a great offload to Hope Rogers, cantering up the field. The loose head prop, she's got a great turn of pace. And here's Frida Tafuna, who scored for the US against New Zealand in Ottawa last year. Matatonga.
Stay down.
Ortiz for Rua Matatonga again, the Fiji-born centre. Also played some sevens for the United States, a couple of tournaments. Here's Rogers once more. They've lost some ground here, the US, but that's a good hole. Much better for the United States. And Gabby Cantona looking for some support on the shoulder. Shot came in. It was a good hit from Paul on Salfu'u, who made good pace to get up alongside her first five, and then just trying to force that ball to Funa. She had Rogers on the shoulder, but really promising signs from the USA coming out of the sheds at halftime.
I think they got a bit of a yelling from their coach in the tunnel, because what we see here from the USA, you can see that Amy Rule shut up in the back in the defense line, sorry. And Cantona was able to play with the ball a little bit, but Mererangi Paul's the role of a fullback, filling in the gaps. What a hit! Get it in ya.
Oh, it was there for Tafuna, wasn't it, Rogers? But Mererangi Paul has not played a lot of fullback. Certainly not at this level, making a good fist of it.
Bind! Set!
Oh,
She's
good work
onside, play on.
from Ortiz. Got that timing spot on to really hassle Joseph at the base of that scrum, and USA have turned this ball over, and that's the physical pressure Michaela Blyde was talking about that she'd like to see from the US to put on New Zealand. And then they lose control. Oh, it's messy, it's all over the shop, and we've got knock-ons everywhere, so it'll be USA who lost it first, but they're putting some physical pressure on.
This is the type of play that we want USA to be able to showcase. But Olivia Ortiz to get onto the pressure of Maia Joseph, who just had her back turned for a split second. And when you've got experience up against a debutante, that's when you've got to utilize that. That's when you've got to make them think, oh, am I really here for the experience? I am young, but I can play. And Ortiz is really starting to put a bit more pressure on Joseph at halfback.
Maia Joseph put her medical studies on hold. She's having to be a surgeon. Offered a Black Ferns contract this year, chasing that rugby dream for a while. Instead, as Leila Sa'i bounces out the back of the scrum for New Zealand. She's well tracked across by Tafuna, but she's hard to put down. Leila Sa'i, New Zealand recycle. Here's Luca Connor. Possession for the first time, coming off the bench. Still there for Connor. She's really strong with ball in hand. And eventually is able to pop it back. It's slow ball this time for Joseph, and she'll go to the air for the first time, rolling a kick over the top. The halfback gets a good bounce as well, and it's a good touch finder. Great kick from Joseph to turn around the USA defence.
It's a great touch finder by Maia Joseph. Little boxy with, if you can call it, from the halfback. We love seeing those things from the halfback.
First time we've seen Joseph kick.
In and make sure they come in.
It's a good one as well. Catherine Shredder finds Gerald in the middle. Nice quick ball off the top for the United States. Here's Ngano's made good impact since coming on in that first half for Eti Hangatau, unfortunately injured out of this match. Ortiz comes back out to the open. USA much more running in them. Again, Cantona to the line. New Zealand can't get hands over that ball. The clear out is good. Tafuna. Oh, bounces off Faleko. Good carry from Frida Tafuna. Good tackle made from Mikaeli Tu'u. Shot up too quickly, though, so penalty advantage for the United States to play here. Tafuna, and now Clapp nicely shifted on for Tafuna again. She's got Tui in front of her. Now the speed of Lottie Clapp racing away. The United States' best attacking chance of the match. Tui gets back there trying to get over it for New Zealand and wins it back for the Black Ferns. It breaks down just for the US. And again, Joseph has to punch this away downfield and send the United States back to halfway. Tess Fury looks to wind up again. USA regroup and reset. Alfu's been heavily involved, the lock forward. And again, I was going to say stolen once more by Vaipulu, but a ruck had formed, and so the penalty. Great bust out, though, from the US.
That's the kind of energy that we need from USA. When you get the ball into Lottie Clapp's hands and ball in space, she's obviously got some speed. And so the second half, the USA team just looks slightly different. It's like they've got a little bit more energy. They're using the ball a little bit more. Great carry here from Tafuna. And to utilise her inside players of Lottie Clapp, Mererangi Paul, and Vaipulu just knew how to get back. And Ruby Tui, I mean, I can tell you now, she did that for 10 years for the Black Ferns 7, so that's not an old thing that we've seen of her do. That is something that she's done for many years.
USA, in the lineout, please. What's going on?
USA just needed one more, getting the numbers right in that line out, which has worked to good effect for them. And here's Tafuna again, tearing away once more. Now Fuller running the blindside flanker and makes another charge. 5 metres short of the line, though. USA pressuring New Zealand really for the first time in the match. Here's Tafuna again. They wanted to go. This time she ships it on for Tafuna. And they'll come around the corner once more. The United States, the forwards rolling up their sleeves for a bit. Jacoby trying to get low and barrel her way through the New Zealand defence. Good tackle made by Vaipulu. Tafuna again, who started it with those good, hard charges. Paris Reading will be next to go. New Zealand's defence just picking them off at the moment. Nice and quick this time for Gerald. Still there for the USA. Rogers now. Rogers barreling towards the line, just short. Hope Rogers tried to roll it forward onto the line. She'll have to funnel it back. And in fact, as she reached out, she lost it. Trying to roll forward.
If there was going to be someone that was going to attempt the score, USA's first try, it's going to be Hope Rogers. She's done a heck of a lot of work here for the USA, but the ball off the back of the line-out wasn't that clean. But Tafuna was able to still get the ball rolling, and the forwards just had to keep on moving. It's like you can see slightly she's trying to reach forward for that try line, but unfortunately she was 30 centimetres away from scoring. Oh, look at that. I mean, just a little bit more, a little bit more.
Couldn't resist, could she? Hope Rogers. She had to roll that forward. New Zealand's defence is the first time they've really had questions asked of it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Slipped off a few tackles, but still, the line's held firm. So new front row for the Kiwis: Veliko, Connor, and Rule.
Pressure, let's go. Come on.
Crouch! Bind!
Man, they're pre-engaged. Come on.
Set!
And that is impressive. If you're packing down, you can also tell the ref there's a pre-engage. New Zealand from inside there, or on their own goal line. Demant crashes hard out and then floats the ball for Vahaakolo. She's got a little bit of room here to Caitlin Vahaakolo. Doesn't need much. And it's Johnson who comes across and makes the tackle. Joseph. For Roos out the back for Demant again. So good with ball in hand. That one a little loose though for Mererangi Paul. And that also for Duplessis. They're keeping it alive awkwardly, just forcing one too many, New Zealand.
You just sense a little bit of energy shift in the Black Ferns. It's almost like things are just not quite pulling off the way that it was in the first half. Demant's offload off to Vahaakolo was just with one hand into contact. And then it was almost like the backline just didn't have anything organised. So the USA can take a lot of confidence out of that defence. A bit of scrambling D from them has actually pulled off really well.
Stack of changes coming for New Zealand. Charmaine Smith coming on to replace Maama Vaipulu. What a debut.
Time's off.
She has had Kaipo Olsen-Baker. She's onto the field in jersey 20, replacing Liana Mikaeli-Tu'u. And on debut in jersey number 22 for New Zealand, Hannah King. There's Olsen-Baker. Opportunity for her and the debutante, 20 years of age, Hannah King. What a moment. Out of the Canterbury Academy, made a big move to Wellington for Super Rugby Opiki, has netted a Black Ferns jersey. She is a huge talent. Exciting opportunity for Hannah King.
Scrum. USA ball.
Kaipo Olsen-Baker too, 22. This is just her third test. She made her debut in 2022, but then had some injuries, so great chance her to pack down the scrum at number 8.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Penalty, scrum penalty for the United States. Quick tap from Johnson. Good tackle made on her by Simon. USA much more up for the fight in the second half. Ortiz, nice quick ball for Rogers to crash onto. Pressing again are the US Eagles, Paris Redding. And then Ortiz, great pressure on from Olsen-Baker and Smith, the fresh legs for New Zealand. Still there for the USA, Tonga. Flat across the face with Taufu'u, looked to get the arms free, couldn't quite. Around they come again, Ortiz, Cantona looked to have to shovel it on a little. It's there for Lottie Clapp though. Sitting on 22. Distribution's been good for Ortiz, ran out of room there. No way down that blind side for the US halfback. Jacoby does well from a standing start. They need a halfback. Ortiz is still getting back into position. Mato Tonga obliges. Paris Redding shovels it on for her captain again. Good carry, good support run. Great charge. It's Charmaine Smith who was having a cling on for New Zealand as 3 US players ploughed forward. Bounces kind for Mato Tonga. New Zealand's defence still stands firm. And they get a penalty as well. Held on too long. Did Bulo Mato Tonga, and New Zealand win the ball back.
We've seen Luke O'Connor do that plenty of times before. USA was having to use the ball a little bit more in that phase of play. But when you got fresh legs of Luke O'Connor coming onto the field, Charmaine Smith also did a load of work in that defence. You can hear her yapping, you can hear her talking. We know that that's something that she likes to do. But Luke O'Connor coming on and instantly making an impact.
Top of the tee there.
So good off the bench. Just looking at how New Zealand's backline's just going to reshape slightly with Hannah King out there. So King's in it first 5. Demant's shifted out to second, and as has Sylvia Brunt. So they've all shuffled along one with Duplessis going to the side and King coming in. Good throw from Connor to Charmaine Smith. Here's Hannah King, first proper touch for her. And Olsen-Baker getting good meters for New Zealand. Roos always does with ball in hand. It's there for Joseph, and awkward, good hands Demant. And now Mererangi Paul, hat-trick in the first half. Hasn't had as much on attack as yet in the second. King distributes for Amy Rule, offload there for Kennedy Simon. She looked to get a ball away, but goes to ground. King again. And now Demant out the back for Connor. She's dangerous in open spaces. Had Layla Say roaming down that edge as well. New Zealand building phases and recycling. Valeko's a powerhouse. Just barrels over the top of Hope Rogers up to the 22. New Zealand looking for first points of the second half. Trying to go around the back as King. Vahaakolo into the action, through the line, getting away from one, slipping the ball for Mererangi Paul, a selfish offload, and Ruby Tui scores for New Zealand.
I was suddenly preparing to cheer for Mererangi Paul scoring 4 tries, but the selfless offload to Ruby Tui, after what was a fair few phases of play for the Black Ferns, you can see that they were going width to width, but this carry here by Velik, oh, ouchies. You don't want to go high on a powerful woman like her, but they're going width to width, crashing in the middle, and then visioning where the space is on the outside and in the middle, but Kaylin Vahaakolo to Mererangi Paul to Ruby Tui to dot it down for another try on the scoreboard for her.
Yeah, that's a thank you to Mererangi Paul. The selfless offload. Paul could have had 4, instead she puts in Ruby Tui for her 13th. And here's Hannah King lining up her first kick in international rugby. Strikes it really nicely, slides it inside the right-hand upright. What a start in her test debut. Hannah King gets a couple of points on the board to convert the Tui try.
On you, yep.
Changes to both teams. Taina Tukuafu on at halfback in jersey 21, replacing Ortiz for the United States. He's put it in a good shift, the halfback. And Patricia Maliepo on in jersey 23 for New Zealand, replacing Caitlin Vahaakolo. And well, say almost into the action. There is Maliepo there, but Tui scoots away from her and out of the first defender. Oh, good clean out from Maliepo.
21. Advantage. Offside.
And that's Tukuafu, the new
Offside.
halfback, caught offside.
21.
Yeah, the eagerness of Tukuafu has just caught her offside a little bit there. But it's a good time now for USA to bring on some fresh legs to hopefully make an impact against the Black Ferns, who still have some tired legs on the field at the moment.
Well, the USA too will have some eyes on taking on Australia as well.
Black 9.
In that Rugby World Cup qualification battle,
line,
Australia playing tonight against Canada as well.
Time's on. How many? His time was off, but it's on now.
Smith down the back, or getting in front of that one though. Good work from Tafuna, who's been excellent for the United States this afternoon. New Zealand have had a couple of lineouts not go their way. And see on in jersey 21, Iri Tanahohaia, last replacement for
Entry.
New Zealand, replacing Maia Joseph. She was red-carded when she played the USA last year. Did Iri Tanahohaia inside a couple of minutes?
No, not the Taranaki girl. What, are you
Yeah,
sure?
wow.
Are you sure?
You best not offend, well, I best not offend segments of Central North Island, Lower North Island of New Zealand, where Iri Tanahohaia and M. Blyde are from. Good work at that line out though from the USA.
Thank you.
Just drawing a couple of penalties out of New Zealand too.
Yeah, Tafua got in front of Smith there, which is actually very hard to do. Smith would be close to probably just over 6 foot tall, so it's very hard to disrupt any high ball when it goes to her.
USA's own line out has functioned nicely as well, and they'll get another penalty. And oh yeah, Smith and Gerald going at it. Charmaine Smith, the police officer, doesn't mind a little bit of
19,
niggle.
7. 19. You've come on, you've had 2 penalties in a row, you've been in the middle of that. Let's settle down. Okay, thank you.
It's not very common that you get a police officer that's getting told off by the ref, but Charmaine Smith has really stand her ground on this field. When she comes on, she brings energy, but it's got to be legal energy.
As you are.
A change coming here for New Zealand as we see a little bit of the niggle. Charmaine Smith and Erica Jarrell. Kennedy Simon's going up the tunnel for an HIA, so New Zealand co-captain heads to the side, and that means Liana Mikaeli-Zul comes back onto the field.
Time on.
This one overthrown though. Oh, good work from Ngano to scoop up that loose ball for the USA. Cantona. There's Autumn Saplicki into the action. Her first touch is knocked down hard. It's come off a New Zealand hand. Well, they put a shot on the 23, who's replaced Lottie Clapp.
Wait, Scrum.
Felt the full force of Sylvia Brunt.
Yeah, Autumn Sablicki, who actually comes from the USA Sevens program. It's unfortunate for her there. She's felt the brunt of brunt. Welcome to playing at FMG Stadium against the Black Ferns, Sablicki. She is part of the army, though, in USA, so she is very tough.
I was going to say,
that will be nothing for her.
I don't think Autumn Saplicki's soft by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah, Sylvia Brunt hits hard. She's had to cool her jets for a couple of weeks. Missed out on the Super Rugby final, the Opiki final, because of suspension. Pressure on that scrum, front row's popped up. New Zealand walk over it, but concede the penalty, driving in on the angle.
Angle.
Against Vahaakolo.
The scrums haven't been as clean as this new front row has come on for the second half. Almost a little bit of miscommunication, not being on the same page. They're going to have to change that real quickly.
Thank you. Okay, on the line. Yeah.
Difficulty, I guess, too. You don't play with each other and for their province or Super Rugby clubs. Any of the front rowers on for New Zealand at the moment. The Blues player, a Chiefs player, and a Matatu player. You're trying to get those connections together. As USA bring this ball down, they've got advantage as well. New Zealand went early, and this is a really good line-out drive. USA putting some huge heat on New Zealand in the second half as we head into the final 20 minutes of the match.
Sideways now, use.
Tukuafu feeds away for Ngano. Up to the New Zealand line. Demant in there can't get hands on it, so Hope Rogers gets rid of Amy Rule, just barging straight over the top. What a charge from Rogers. Here come the US. Tafuna. No way through. Roos and say that they go again to the United States.
Still advantage, White.
Happy to go with the hard work, still playing under advantages. Tafuna not going through there though. Paris Renning will pick next. Away she goes for Charlie Jacobi. Still just a handful of meters short of the line. Tafuna, she's got a little isolated here, but they pile in the United States. It's Rogers once more. She stopped just short of the line. New Zealand's forwards aiming up. It's still there for the USA though. Ball comes back for Tafuna once more. Looking for support, barreling low and hard and low to the line. Still short, says the referee. USA looking for their first try of the match. Rogers just short again. Diving at the line. Out it comes and they look to spread. Cantona through the hands. Henrik can't get through. Tui stopped her. New Zealand's defence on the line. Superb. Round they come for Jarrell. Erica Jarrell pumping those legs. Pick and go. Georgie Paris Redding. She's folded back. Still able to crib another half metre. Tafuna, look at the phases. 13, this is 14, and this is the try for the United States. Gut busting, they've worked their socks off to get it, and it's Freda Tafuna who scores the try for the USA.
No high tackle, but the team is sleeping.
USA would have to be extremely proud of that. But there's someone that we got to highlight. Hope Rogers goes through Amy Rule like she's a small winger. And she powers through. Not only that, but she does a load of work to get momentum close to the line. And the USA were patient. They knew what they needed to do as a forward pack, and they just did the dirty work. And Tafuna, congratulations, you have scored 5 points against the Black Ferns here at FMG Stadium. She's well deserved for this try. She has done a lot of work for USA today.
Well, how many times was she involved in that movement? I think she's going to come to the side. She took a knock on the way through. Freda Tafuna, she scored against New Zealand in Ottawa last year. Now she scores against New Zealand in New Zealand.
Okay.
And so
Thanks, Rachel.
USA on the board, well-deserved try. Cantona tries to chip this one over and just falls short. Try goes unconverted, but it's a well-deserved try for the USA. 43 points to 5, New Zealand lead. The try scorer, Freda Tafuna. She has put in a really good shift and deserves that breather.
Tafuna's actually carried 14 times and 78 metres have made. That is up there. That is 1 metre less short than Johnson, her captain. So she has done a lot of work for USA.
That's hard meters too, isn't it? As USA get us back underway. Talia Brodie in jersey 20 has replaced Freda Tafuna, another who plays her rugby in the PWR in the UK, playing for the Loughborough Lightning. Ngano. Sukuafu at Hawaii, born and raised halfback, surveys the options, goes back for Cantona, just tries to chip this one into a little bit of space and found it. New Zealand come forward and tidy up eventually. It was King who finds Maliapo. And now Hohaia, Charmaine Smith, Daenerika Gerald have come together again, might have words, the two locks. Here's Chris Valiko, good with ball in hand, it bounces away for King. Shifted along from Maliapo to Tui. Hohaia sends it back for Luca Connor. There's Hohaia again, also a police officer. There's a couple of them out there for New Zealand. Here's the other. And now roaming is Mikaeli Tu'u. Around the corner comes Ruahei Demant, stabs a little kick through. Olsen Baker to chase. It'll dribble out over the dead ball line. Didn't have a whole lot of options, but she's clever and canny as Ruahei Demant.
She was halfway from getting tackled and she was still able to pull off a pretty clinical kick like that. But she, like you said, Ricky, she ran out of options and she was quite isolated, to be honest, but it was the right option. If she just had a little bit less wheat bix this morning, that would have been a perfect pop for Kaipo Olsen Baker to jump onto.
You can almost sometimes see Ruahei Demant's brain ticking over. She's got so many strings to her bow. Such a smart woman on and off the field. Able to shift across, and obviously the leadership she shows too.
She's a World Rugby 15s Player of the Year recipient for a reason, Ricky. She does a lot of work for her Black Ferns team as co-captain with Kennedy Simon. She's just one of those ones on the field, leads by actions all the time. Never someone to speak too much, but when she does, it's some words that you got to listen to because she's extremely knowledgeable. She's a cool, calm, collected leader, and she leads very strongly on the field every time she plays.
Let's go, Black. Time's back on. Let's go.
Here we go, big boys. All you, Charles. All you, Nate. Go get it.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Again, New Zealand scrum shunting USA off the ball, and how quick was Olsen Baker to swoop on that and swat away defenders, carrying 4 of them almost to the line. Kaipo Olsen Baker, Hohaia. New Zealand happy to keep it in tight now. Mikaeli Tu'u around the corner. They come. Luca Connor. Oh, this is her danger zone. Rather, that was rule anyway. And now Layla Say with a big engine. the number 8. Hohaia just about driven off the ball by Johnson, picked up by Roos. Somehow they stopped her almost over the line. Now New Zealand spill it forward, and it comes undone. The USA pleased with their defence. A bit of hustle on the line.
If we can go back to Kaipo Olsen-Baker's carry on the edge there. She is just someone that you do want to get in the way of. She fends off 2 or 3 players. Watch her here, oh, get out of the way. Look at her drive forward for her team. She makes 4 people have to get around her to try and stop her. It's unfortunate that the spill from Charmaine Smith. She's come onto the field. I don't know if it's a little bit of the jitters, a little bit of nerves, but there's a few things that aren't quite going her way at the moment for the 30th Test match recipient.
There's one, and just her third there. She is Kaipo Olsen-Baker. As I said, just being slowed by injury in 2022 when she made a storming debut against Australia in Tauranga in the Pacific Four. Look at that youth. Hohaia, Mikaeli Tu'u, Olsen-Baker say for New Zealand. Some exciting options there.
Oh, to be young again, eh, Ricky?
You haven't even made it to 30 yet. Can you not? As Johnson goes over the back. So USA just going to have to roll up the sleeves a little here, which they've done well at times to get themselves a bit of territory and try and
It's your own player.
look an angle to clear away.
Release!
Georgie Pearce-Redding still going. Scored a hat-trick against South Africa in their opening test of the season. Did Pearce-Redding, the open side flanker. And now that's the angle they were looking for Cantona, just to be able to scramble it away, relieve a little of the pressure. It's certainly not off, but get a bit of distance.
We've said Pearce-Redding's name quite a few times, but on the stats here that we have, she has made 15 tackles, which is the same amount as Liana Mikaeli Tu'u, and USA have been on defence for majority of this game. So to see the work rate that she's been doing as a flanker, Pearce-Redding, has been impactful for the USA team.
Kennedy Simon back out there after that HIA. Here's Brunt storming onto that ball at an angle. It's quick for Hohaia. Here's Olsen-Baker again. So hard to stop. What an impact she's having off the bench. Oh, Roos just spilling that one. And USA looking to break here through Henrik. And now Johnson working hard for the USA as those shadows creep across FMG Stadium, Waikato, and again Cantona has to look for the safety of the touchline, hasn't found it. Maia there, and she can be dangerous in open play. Good tackle made on her by Talia Brody coming across though. Rule. USA almost over that, and now King tries a little kick pass across to Sylvia Brunt standing on the wing, beats one defender, beats 2, then just loses her footing. Good clear out to help from Paul, but USA have come on through this ball, and it's been scooped up by Tukuafu. Here's Pearce-Redding. Jacoby. The USA front row still going 71 minutes into this match. The starters, Jacoby, Treader and Rogers. And now some space for this woman, Salfu'u, who's been one of the US best. Good tackle covering across from Simon, but it's more good meters from the lock. And now some space wide for Cantona to try and find Fury. Ball's going to beat them all, though, as it starts to take a toll deep into this match on everyone.
That was great eyes bank by Cantona to see the space on that right edge of the field for her winger there. Unfortunately, it didn't quite pull off, but the Black Ferns would have to be breathing a little bit of sigh of relief there because they started to go backwards a little bit. The USA have just shifted a little bit of momentum here, and as we see Hope Rogers come off, man, she has been immense for this USA team. The amount of work that she has done is amazing.
Massive shifts for the entire front row. So Rogers, Treader and Jacoby all come to the side, coming on in 17, Olivia Leatherman on in 16, Paige Stathopoulos, and 18, Katie Benson. Benson very experienced, and Bula Matatonga is also going to have to come to the side with a blood bin. And some of the new players here is Katie Benson, 42nd cap, couple of World Cups under her belt. Good experienced player for the USA to be able to bring on.
We're waiting for the sun.
Lottie Clapp's coming back out for the USA. That's to replace Matatonga, who's heading to the blood bin.
Okay, thank you. Time's on.
Into the final 10 minutes of this match now. And USA, well, from 36-0, they'd be pretty pleased with this second half effort, holding New Zealand to just the one try. One apiece in the second half at the moment. Demant to the line and then trying to bust through was Brunt. Forced the ball. Henrik got there. It's still there for New Zealand. Gone backwards off the United States. Demant and Simon. Now Brunt really becoming prominent, as she so often does late in matches. Sylvia Brunt. Lot of space wide here for Layla Saeed. Gets rid of Sablicki, tries to run over the top of another, through a couple more. Layla Saeed is a powerhouse.
And that is what we have been missing this whole second half with the Black Ferns. Going from the line out, they knew what their players needed to do. It was almost like it was a fixed move. Every single player knew where they needed to be and what they needed to do. And Layla Saeed, when you are trying to defend her, you better make sure that you have got your shoulders ready. Watch her carry the ball in two hands first, then the fend to Sablicki, and then Cantona, and then Takuafu. Like, she's just unstoppable in that play. The determination and the want to get to that try line was clearly shown. Look at that.
First test try in her fourth test appearance for the 23-year-old from Manawatu, Layla Saeed. Hannah King to convert the Saeed try. Oh, strikes it beautifully, does King. Hasn't flinched, coming on in her test debut. And New Zealand hit the 50 points to 5.
Hannah King's another one, obviously debuting today, but she's just looked like she's been there all year round. She is just absolutely slotted into that first 5 position in the black jersey very easily.
Jenny Cronish on in jersey 19 for the United States, now replacing Erica Jarrell. Here's Olsen Baker again. Boy, what an impact she has had off the bench rather. Kaipor Olsen Baker steams upfield. New Zealand swing hard onto attack. King for Brunt again. Sylvia Brunt shows, goes herself, got plenty of support. It's her captain Demant, and now Patricia Mully-Eppel. New Zealand now putting on a show, busting out, and Patricia Mully-Eppel scores.
You can't mistake these kind of team tries. Patricia Mully-Eppel, she's done really well coming off the bench for the last 15 minutes. But the movement that they show here has been really hard for the USA to defend. When they get momentum, and you can see that the defense of the USA, they were offside, so they actually had a penalty advantage. But ball into space, ball into hand, Brunt there with the fend. And then it was just a matter of who wanted to finish it off. Demant selflessly giving the offload away to Mully-Eppel. A great team try for the girls today.
Well, USA had really held them just these last couple of minutes. Started to tie it, falling off some tackles again. New Zealand punishing. King again from wide. Oh, she's got that one too. Radar is on for Hannah King. Renee Holmes, the T-girl. She liked it as well as New Zealand go out 57 points to 5. Ball's brought down by Paul.
Hey, ready?
New Zealand full of running in the final minutes of this match now. No way through there. Good defence from Johnson and Benson. Johnson's still working hard for her team now. New Zealand spread through Mully Airport. Early ball for Tui. She goes through the first defender. Rule. And now Brunt, who just becomes more and more menacing as the match wears on. Good hands from Vahaakolo onto Simon that time. Brunt for Roos. New Zealand keeping the ball alive nicely. Paul, 3 tries in the first half. Oh, pick the pocket.
Offside.
Did Tukuafu, but she got a flyer.
Thank you. Number 18.
No, it wasn't her who was offside, somebody else. But she was away. Saina Tukuafu.
Offside.
Number 18, her teammate should apologise to her because that intercept would have been a try for sure in the right side of the field in the corner. That would have been exciting for USA to pounce upon. But we know that Black Ferns are very dangerous in this area of the game, of the field, I should say, sorry. A line out here, and we have Matotonga coming back on after her blood bin with a headband on. And Lottie Clapp comes back off after a little bit of a quick spell.
Thank you. Okay, time's on.
There's Kate Zachary, the US captain, out injured at the moment. I'd love to have her back for the remainder of this Pacific 4 series.
Just keep it up. Okay, use now.
Kohaya wrestles this away eventually. New Zealand play. King just stabs a little kick low and hard into the ground. Look at the acceleration of Paul. Oh, good hands too. Snatched it away from the US defence. US trying to get over this ball and they will win it back. It was Ngano again.
To be able to do that at the 78th minute of the game is very impressive. The chase back was on. A good kick is only good if we've got chasers, and Mererangi Paul ended up being isolated, even though that she had really good hands, but Hingango identified that she was by herself, and she was able to get the turnover right in front of the posts. I sense Mererangi Paul is sniffing for that 4th try. She's trying to get numbers on that board.
Good little change of tactic though for King.
White, come stand
King.
here. Come stand here. Keep coming. Okay, she needs to move. Tyler, just move. Move the hooker. Move the hooker. Thank you. That's good.
Ball thrown over the top. Bounce is kind enough for Cantona, so USA and a huge shot still late in the match. Connor and Simon. I think Connor put the shot on and Kennedy Simon might have been collateral damage. Cronish. Olsen Baker over this has stolen it away, so New Zealand with a chance to strike in the final seconds as there's a wrestle on the ground for it. Kohaya just able to protect it.
No, 7.
And New Zealand are going to get a penalty here. Yeah, Paris Redding off her feet and can't roll out of there. So a penalty.
7.
And New Zealand will want one more before we're done.
Thank you.
Quick tap. New Zealand do want to go. And it's with Brunt again. Demant. Oh, she's so strong. But good defence coming over. Say it. Oh, let's say it. Quick hands. Awkward hands, and the bounce ball is all over the place. That'll be the knock-on, and that'll be the last thing we see. But that is not to delay from an outstanding performance from New Zealand to get their game rolling. In the Pacific Four, on the board, New Zealand. USA came back at them hard in that second half, but it was set up in the first, and it's New Zealand who take it out comprehensively in Hamilton, 57 points to 5.